Hi, everybody. My name is Denise, and I have with me today Abby Evans, who's going to be sharing a version of her talk that she gave on September 17th, 2021, for the FDA listening session on ichthyosis. Abby presented on comorbidities related to ichthyosis. So Abby, thank you so much for being with us and for all that you have shared over the years with the ichthyosis community. I'll turn it over to you, Abby.
Yes, thank you so much, Denise. So today I'm just going to be sharing what I shared at the FDA listening session about comorbidities and how that has affected my life growing up with ichthyosis. So I feel like one story that really encompasses a lot of the comorbidities that a lot of us with ichthyosis face on a day-to-day is understanding my experience in gym class in high school. So there were a lot of barriers to me participating in gym class that really affected how I was able to participate with my peers. The first was a lot of infections. So infections are life-threatening for those of us with ichthyosis, and they also have a lot of associated pain and discomfort. This meant that I was unable to participate in gym class as I had ongoing staph infections throughout my freshman year of high school. I couldn't wear the gym uniform that most of my peers were wearing because my skin was so weepy and inflamed and sore that it was hard to wear shorts and a short sleeve shirt. And small things like this that really affected my ability to feel comfortable and feel a part of my peers. I also was unable to change in the locker room with the other kids because of my skin being so inflamed and sore and weepy. Additionally, I had a lot of trouble participating in the actual activities of gym class, in addition to infections preventing me from being able to have the same mobility that everyone else had. I also have joint contractures, which a lot of us with ichthyosis have. So instead of being able to do a push-up like this, I had to do a push-up like this. And that becomes very hard when you're expected to do state mandated testing in order to get good grades in these classes. Additionally, a lot of us with ichthyosis have a lot of environmental allergies. I also have some food allergies, but I have a lot of environmental allergies, which makes it very hard when you're going outside and running around in the grass and your skin is itchy and inflamed. And sometimes if you have lotion on, the grass is sticking to your legs. And it was just another thing that presented this barrier to me participating in gym class. Another issue, as I mentioned, with joint contractures, a lot of us with ichthyosis also have joint mobility issues, which can make running and walking very difficult. We also, a lot of us have fissures in our hands and feet and other areas throughout our body, which can also make those activities like playing volleyball or playing kickball very difficult. Another main thing that affected this time in my life was heat control. So a lot of us with ichthyosis are unable to control and regulate our body temperature. So that means when it's hot outside or when it's just a normal temperature inside, but you're running around inside, we can overheat very quickly. This is also very life-threatening as overheating can lead to heat exhaustion and heat stroke very quickly. And this also presented a lot of concerns with being able to participate in gym class just like my peers. And of course, all of these kind of comorbidities of ichthyosis involve a lot of other aspects of my life, but looking at them in this gym class aspect is a very quick way to summarize a lot of them. Another way that heat control has really affected my life is in my job. You can see in the picture on the slide, I'm here wearing a cooling vest. So I personally can't take oral retinoids, so I don't really have a lot of options when it comes to treatments for ichthyosis and treatments for heat control. So I use a lot of ice packs and cooling vests to keep myself at a cool, stable temperature. And then on the next slide, you can see again, I'm at my job. talking with some other people at my work, and wearing my cooling vest once again in order to stay cool and not overheat. This became very challenging, especially this year, as we had to do a lot of our job orientation outside. And it became very difficult to regulate body temperature and stay at a cool temperature. So this is somewhere where the FDA could come into play. If the FDA could approve a treatment that just made it so that I only had to go inside and cool off once an hour instead of once every 20 to 30 minutes. That would have greatly improved my quality of life, both in high school and in young adulthood at my current job. Additionally, if there was some type of treatment that made it so that I could tolerate temperatures of 80 degrees and below, instead of right now, my cutoff is somewhere around 75. That would greatly improve my quality of life as well, and expand on the opportunity for me to do a lot more things outside without having to worry about overheating and heat control. A few other things that are comorbidities with ichthyosis that affect a lot of us are hair loss. I do struggle a little bit with hair loss in the back of my head, but a lot of us face a lot more challenges with hair loss, and unfortunately have trouble wearing wigs or headscarves because they can be very itchy and hot. And this is something that's very challenging for people with ichthyosis, both physically and emotionally, as it can be quite emotionally distressing when you're a child and you don't fit in with your peers, but it can also be quite physically distressing to have something that's so hot and itchy on your head all the time. Another thing that affects a lot of us is eyes and ears. So a lot of us have pulling on our eyes, and that can make our eyes dry and affect our vision, which I know is something that some of the others in this FDA listening session have talked about. And then also we have to clean out our ears from the skin often. I've actually failed hearing tests before in school because my ears were not cleaned out, and I wasn't able to hear all of the noises that they make you listen to when they put those headphones on. So yeah, these are just some of the ways that ichthyosis really affects our life beyond just itching and dry skin, and can make it quite challenging for kids growing up, but also into adulthood with things like having a job and socializing and having a family and stuff. So yeah, that's it from me today. Thank you so much for having me. And I hope you learned a little bit about ichthyosis and the ways that future treatments can help improve our lives.
Thank you so much, Abby. As always, it's great to hear your perspective. I know how difficult it can be to talk through some of these things, and just even list the sheer multitude of all of the issues that come along with it. So really appreciate your insights and your voice on this. Anything else to add?
Nope, I don't think so. I think that's it for me. Thank you so much for having me here today and allowing me to share all of my thoughts on some of these other things that affect us with ichthyosis.
All right. Thanks so much, Abby. Take care. See you next time.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Bye.